Tashi Kogi Geshe Metokram Ria Linshi Ninde Vadi Sangye Shindu Mite Gurari Drobi Namda Shimna Chipasho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kanyatayami Sangye Jidam Zapi Jagnamba Janchu Vadu Dabni Yavsuchi Dahi Jinyen Gipe Zanangi Rola Venjir Sangye Jipasho Sangye Jidam Zohi Jagnamla Janju Vadu Dagni Gavsuchi Dahi Jinyen Gipe Zanangi Rola Venjir Sangye Jipasho Sangye Jidam Zapi Jagnamla Janju Vadu Dabni Yasuchi Dahi Jinyen Gipe Zanangi Rola Venjir Sangye Jipasho
It's a wonderful and so fortunate to be here with you and engaging in the discourse of the Dharma. As we all know that creating the altruistic intention or sometimes there's creating the attitude. Its positive attitude is very important at the beginning of Dharma discourse. And so we are all gathering here tonight to really engage in a serious Dharma discussion with the intention of attaining the realization of a proper renunciation and bodhicitta and then the correct view. And we are not doing that for just the sake of our own benefit, but we are really here to engage in this study and meditation to attain full Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So if we really wanted to make a maximum benefit to the sentient beings, we have to attain Buddhahood first. Without attaining the Buddhahood, we cannot really help them. And therefore, we are here to engaging in this Dharma discourse with the intention to attain full Buddhahood, so that we can benefit for so many sentient beings. And so it will be very useful to contemplate on this for like 2 minutes. And generally speaking, it's so important to shape this kind of altitude when you engage in Dharma activities.
Kulung Gombashilan dollars so that to some of the time Namna shooting you to net a shoot on any Yashurani, Kasheta, Nasor and a company where a dinner and Jamun Jetta, Jimmy Chevo, Mare, Senator, so to the sensation in the viewings, Engineer Namna shooting Chana, Mena, Digi, Senator, not so Gita, should delay the day when the condition is Shuna, that's all. Kulung number in the Yukon, the Yukon, and the Gombashian, the community Gombashian.
So we maybe contemplate for 2 minutes on shaping this altruistic intention. You can do so with these 7 positions of a Vairocana. Vairocana is what? Is it Vairocana?
Yeah, Vairocana.
Yeah.
8-point, 7-point posture.
Here, this was a 7-point the posture of a Vairocana. You can do with that. Or you can do in whatever way that's most kind of suitable for you. For myself, because of my leg, I'm giving permission sometimes to sit the way is most suited for me, and you can do so. And the most important thing is really to concentrate and place your mind on this intention that you're shaping. So we do so for 2 minutes.
다 kulung chue sanye da kulung chue tanda da yunga nishuwa na shiri da chanchuki sanye zule sanye koban di mato na da ruwa sanje zule dungalle da zhuwe mutawe sa kulung chue we tenne da zule sanye koban tube la yunga zo da lo di ma jamba ina da zule sanye koban tu mutawe yin zare sinirwa da lo jamba de la yunga zo dinya la yunde shi yuwa na le da nga zo kiwu chung ding che sum na le da kiwa chunga lambi rinpa lo jangna, kiwa dingi rinpa lo jangna, kiwa chunga lambi rinpa lo jangna, sungi nane ta, tanda karsa lo jang sikye ma de ta, kiwa chunga lambi lo jangna je insare sinira.
Once we have shaped our intention to attain full Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then we have to realize that without really actually attaining full Buddhahood, we're not able to benefit to the sentient beings. For that purpose, we are engaging in mind training. And we have been talking about the Yunden Shiguma in the previous sessions. The Yunden Shiguma, all sorts of the goodness. And in that, the Lamrim text, it talked about the mind training for the small scope practitioners and medium scope practitioners, and then the great scope practitioners. And this, the 8 verses of mind training belongs to these great scope practitioners. And then, when we look at the mind training, there are 2 types of mind training approach. One is the 7 cause and effect mind training. The other is the exchange of self with others mind training. And this, the 8 verses of mind training belongs to the latter one.
Geshe lang tamba sangi tanda Geshe potoba ta segi toba gyuri ta geyebe nane ta ching nane ta Geshe la tamba langi ta Geshe potoba segi toba gyuri geyi nane ching insare sene ane koran soba ta dashi nyemji yukone lo jangna chanjuge sing gyura tung sangi dili insare
And you're all familiar with the mind training tradition. And this particular mind training text is composed by Geshe Lengletapa. And Geshe Lengletapa is one of the 8 main disciples of Geshe Potowar, the famous Kadamba master. And this Geshe Lengletapa had been training in the mind training, the equanimity and the exchange of self for others. And he really kind of again realization in this training, and later he started teaching this type of mind training. And for Geshe Lengletapa, who engaged in the training of equanimity and exchange of self with others, and he became really well versed and well trained, and then he started teaching this text. And these 8 verses of mind training is much more of experiential teaching, but the teaching based on one's experience.
다시 임시고는 로장나에 균도 명화되고는 로장나에 참주의 성격에 겨울 자원이 내버려 했으니라 따뜻한 것을 보거든 다 다시 임시고는 로장나에서 다단 시행이다 냠바체다 다 저불로 왜 가리마 당부티 상부지 당부도 쓰네요.
So for the practitioners of the bodhicitta, and there's no really differences between the training method, the 7 cause and mind training, and the equanimity and exchange of self for others, the 2 types. There is no differences between the 2 approaches, and they are both really aimed at achieving bodhicitta. And then in this particular teaching, we are focusing on the equanimity and exchange of self for others. And so really to start this training, first of all, we have to understand why we're exchanging self with others. And then why we're engaging in this equanimity, generating the equanimity.
균도 명화된지고는 로장발라 때문에 다 찬주에 있으면 깨나야래 아니 다시 임시지고는 로장발라 때문에 찬주에 있으면 깨나야 가리나야 되다 도마지라다 망시디 아니 칼로다 로아 숨졌던데 딱 세메 땅이 많이 됐다 마고나 딱 다시님 집은 로케 이나래 균주면 등은 로케 이나래 딱 당복거란 딱 걸어다 망시리 딱 걸어다 돌아와 인사를 센터 장주기 센게 망시지로 와라 세메 땅인데 마고나 대인상 가서 나가다 다녀 봤습니다 냐바고 뭐 니가라다 인진이 뭐에 이모르기 시대를 샤았습니다.
So both the tactical mind training, either the certain cause and effect mind training or the equanimity and exchange of self for others, the foundation for these two types of mind training is generating this equanimity. Sometimes we say generating this infinite equanimity. And this is really important because this becomes, as you will realize later, really the basis of the both types of mind training.
대인상 다니엘 퍼머슨디 딱 냠바 따와라 때네 아니 딱 냠바 따고에 김생 카레 디삼로지 땅로 냠바 따서는다 그러다 달라파 당와다 녜라파 차과케다 아니 따님들라다 발마 데르로지 리기여바이나 아니 딜레바이나 자주게 생기야라 계획제 소고디 차대를 랑제지 줄로지 차대를 세네로 라니니야라 차과케 가서 인기쇼라 되자 추다리에 세네로 인기쇼라 되자 슈청부게제 다이초라 샤람네 단시 말이제 아니까 다다니에 가야마다 따님수 네바이바이나 아니 마소다 로 종라에 다 마지거래 로 종라에 다니바고서 따님도 따고 그래서 대 제라 아니 랑다 신세나 수 자청보다 신을바 제버진 거야 요와들 리기도 하세요.
So when we talk about equanimity, we're talking about our attitude and feelings toward what we consider as our enemies, our beloved one or the close one, and then the impartial or the indifferent people. So generally when we think about our attitude to people, they're falling into three groups. One is our very kind of attached and strong attitude toward our friends. Then we have a strong hatred toward the opponent, toward our enemies. And then we have this indifferent attitude toward like impartial people. And so the practitioners of the Mahayana Buddhism, first of all, we really have to equalize or generate equanimity and this attitude toward the three types of the people. And once we're able to kind of generate this equanimity, and then we have to really engage exchanging one's interest or one's happiness with the others. And so that's where there is a really strong reason why we engage in the equanimity practice first, followed by then the other the steps for the mind training. And there we have a reason. There are so many reasons why we're doing that.
마소다 신체벌 맞은 바인바이나 아니 마소다 그러다 신체벌 맞은 다 신기다 연대네 전도 말이에요 세네로 지난 로아심제 탐제라 랑레 로아심제 탐제 다 제벌진 거에 김센데 가르사는 내가 불렀더니 고난 자신 거래 탈들었더니 자신 거에 우리 선물로 당고도 세네로.
So when we think about really the placing the interest or the cherishing the interest of others above us or exchanging with our the happiness, the reason why we really consider the other sentient beings so precious is because by thinking in a such way, then we will remember their quality. If we really do not cherish the interest of others, then we wouldn't be able to see the good qualities that they possess. And when we think about qualities, for our kind of temporary and long-term the benefit. But there are so many things coming from other sentient beings, and that's where doing meditation about cherishing the other people's interests and so on will naturally remind us all the wonderful qualities of other sentient beings, which will come later.
다 랑가지고 공부하시는 직원들도 왔으니까 내가 로트는 텐션을 가르쳤나 마소 예탄다 세디기다 세고 또좀 차상 심지상을 되게 중요하고 왔으니까 아니 다들로트는 텐션을 가르쳤나 조베산게 고원토벨라 심지상기 상도지 심지상을 되는 자주게 있으면 마케바이나 조베산게 고원토벨 호라미도 왔으니까 대인사 하일로 되는 바이나 로was음지 답진다 랑레신 자신도 증거 코로나다 윤대여바데 삼로 땅바이나 장식이 대바단 시행 자신도 장식이 일리도 왔으니 다른 미지라지 신의 친구지 여바인바는 미차가 이제 90째 되는 지기도 와서 그 윤대계체는 90초 해서 대나시 심지 수도 수이네 내가 로트니 텐셔와는 털들로트니 텐셔와데 하고바 인바이나 그 장식이 랑레신 자신도 장식이 로라지 밥이도 왔으니 말이야.
Okay. So the reason why we cherish the other people's interests, why we consider other sentient beings so precious, this is because when we think about our own interests, both temporary and long-term, they're all coming from their kindness. We talked about this in the 7 cause and effect mind training, that when we remember the kindness of our mother, and this is where we're talking about their kindness, and you remember that the all sentient beings who through their kindness were able to gain access to food and clothes and so on for this life, our needs for this life. Most of our kind of needs for this life is really taken care of by other sentient beings. And then if we look at the long-term interests, including attaining full enlightenment, attaining all the wonderful qualities of Dharma and enlightenment and so on, they're also due to these other sentient beings, because really through engaging with them, through practicing this cherishing the interest of others, and considering other sentient beings more precious than you, and engaging in these kind of practices, we're able to attain a lot of other wonderful qualities. And for that reason alone, that other sentient beings are really wonderful and precious.
그러나 대바디 온도치에 대바상이 좀는데 심지가 되는 상여버리면도 심지 시행해봐이나 대바상이 좀는데 상여버 윤세요만 상계 두고 말이야. 선배나 털들을 뜨내다 가진 식으로도 하시니까.
And so if we consider the preciousness of sentient beings, it's enormous. For example, let's look at the example of Buddha Shakyamuni. And Buddha Shakyamuni himself was able to attain this wonderful enlightenment. Thanks to these sentient beings there, really thanks to the sentient beings, through their, if you like, quality, and the Buddha Shakyamuni is able to attain enlightenment. So from that point of view, the sentient beings are so precious.
가르스만에서는 심전시 자청보 인바당 이시인 노부니가 자청보 인바데 바 덴도 치는데 이시인 노부디 자청보 시우르에 카이서나 세디기다 또고 땅선다 또 우평모도마 세토고레 했으니 자청보 시우르에 했으니 델레냐 하고바다 심전시의 이시인 노부를 하고 자청보 증거를 했으니 송행을 했으니
So we have this concept about this wish fulfilling gene. Everyone says it's so precious because it provides all your needs. And then our teachings said the sentient beings are even more precious than a wish-fulfilling gem. This is because the wish-fulfilling gem is only able to provide your needs of this life. Maybe it will help to overcome your financial difficulties or address some of the needs for this life. But really, the sentient beings, they're able to, provide this wonderful the qualities and goodness for your enlightenment, and they're able to really help you really attain enlightenment. That's why, for the Dharma practitioners, the sentient beings are even more precious than wish-fulfilling gem. So if we look at the text, the first verse of the 8 mind training is talking about the sentient beings being more precious than wish-fulfilling gem. Can I have a copy of the text that you all have? Or?
I don't think that's the text. We didn't bring it.
Oh, okay. No problem.
This was the CJ Tango di Navato Dashin de Namaine, Samlo Tangaine, Dekavata, Dan Sibja Tamjela Ishino, Nella Sono. That's Shinchi in Dan Sibja Tamjela Mishino Nella. Tenju, somebody Tauto Zimbarsho, Tenchok, Dooks maybe that Tartugi, Tencho to give, Tartugi, Tenchu to give, Zubesanya Kuban Juvetia, Simja Shenla and Zubesanya Kuban Juvade, Simkia and Simji Shengita Dumasio to the Simkewa in the Shengita, Tencho to give a Dumieta, Kalota. Yaksha to Suresana, Shenche was in Lodirisha, Shenche was in Didirisha, Senera. Then is Simja Tender Yishino, Tencho to the somebody, Tauto Cheva Zimba Show.
So in the first verse, Geshe learned was saying, may I really treat all sentient beings even more precious than the wish-fulfilling gem in order to attain this most wonderful attainment. And so here he was saying that the sentient beings really okay, thank you. I'll read it again rather than translation. Whenever I am and whomever I'm with, can we see the drawers? Yes, the first one. May I always cherish all sentient beings by thinking of them as more precious than a wish-fulfilling jewel, and by aspiring to achieve the supreme goal. And so this is the first verse, and Geshe was making emphasis that our really goal here is the supreme goal. The supreme goal is attaining full enlightenment, and for that reason, the sentient beings are so precious, because all our qualities are dependent on their kindness. So.
다 이제 정보도 송대가 딱도 세버 짐버 쇼 수에디 담아서 집 달람림 셔rum심이 뭐이나 아니면서 신이 된소네 이게다 칼로다 람기타와 신이 된소 되는 로장나 아니 가서 이게 기부 주물라 선도 당외나 아니 칼로다 텐저 뭐였어 아니 tenju tuenchawa inba samba, ani chiwa me taba chaba linde samba, ani gide langdolo soba, o dinde sura chi shargum chingi na rops dinde chi samlo je tang, tene kibu tingla samlo tang, kibu chimbo la samlo tang, o dinde ki chebe tona, ani soso ge ta lambim samlo tang yonde, inji me je ta, tumba shi je tuwe te lambim sobo, inji me je samlo tang goye, nyaba yo samare, soso ge ta, kala me bo, so jawa teye dindo sangi shu ta, sungpa na chi kala me bo, so teye dindo lama shu sana, pe joro na digi me do 하나로 소셔 순간나시 아니 다 남림샤름 지니나 안 때부터 용을 본거다 기마도 여가지 디인데 소소다 삼모타기다 게시 지기도 공부하시라 안 데라타 되나 소에다니 아니 디 taksik디마 삼로 담부터네 소소기다 란체버 진행기로 신체버 일로라 계신 일로 되니까 매워서야 대단했다 가서 롱아다 꿀을 뒤지 밥 나서도 롱아에서 와팀 롱아에 있습니다 팀내 때라다 신체버 일로 깨워라 계신이 있다 얘기 파셔도 하는 거 파싱 파 매워 차니 아니다 신체버 되는데다 안 토바시고 세니 어디에 좀 공부하시는 되게 아니 비매워지 아니 소소기한 뒤에다 후이 속도라가 되버시를 뒤 되버시게 또 여가체 대단히 뭐 뒤에 보면 뒤에서로 비매워지야 제rum체 간델라기 상로탄이라 양압 비매우고는다 이게 샤dom체 아니 제rum체다 소소라다 가로 다기는 되버시게 또 소소 뒤에다 후이 지워라 봐슈네 다르마이스미 디고 야 배장체나 뒤에서 비매워체다 이게 다마도 닝지기 파디다 파버체네진다 다 라마다 체네 수수 자베 라마다 파버체네진 이거디 뭐의 엘멘트 없네라 뭐의 엘멘트 소소 니스니 다니를 끼네 아니 배장체나야 뒤에서 어디에 시토니 가르치는 뒤에서 소소이 메바이오니.
And so in this first verse, especially when Tapa said, may I always cherish all sentient beings, and always in when he mentioned about always, he's maybe referring to when you're practicing at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, always, or if you're a Lamrim practitioner. And he's saying when you're engaging in the practice of learning in the area of small-scale practitioners, starting from how to how to rely on spiritual teachers, and then understanding the preciousness of human life, and then remembering this nature of impermanence and the uncertainty of the life, and then thinking about cause and effect, all these like four preliminary practices. So always, even when you're engaging in right at the beginning, the preliminary practices, you still remember how precious sentient beings are. And then, of course, as you advance your the trainings, and you still kind of remember the preciousness of sentient beings. So they're always referring to at a different stage of your practice. You constantly think about the importance of the preciousness of sentient beings. And so this is where the term always may be being referred to. And there are a number of ways you can really practice it. For Lamrim practitioners, you contemplate, you visualize Buddha Shakyamuni surrounded by the expanse, the activity lineage, starting from Maitreya Buddha, and then on the other side, the profound view, the lineage of the profound view. I forgot because I thought I wanted to bring this Lamrim Tanka, so you can visualize the meditation, but I forgot to bring the Lamrim Tanka. And in the Lamrim, the Tanka basically is Buddha Shakyamuni at the center, surrounded by the lineage holder of the expanse, the activities, the profound view. And then the lineage through your own kind of the lineage and tradition. And your direct and indirect spiritual lineage, you contemplate all of them in front of you. And then you start your prayer saying, may I always cherish the sentient beings, this birth. And then having really saying the prayer and meditating on this, thinking about the importance of cherishing others, the fault of really cherishing self, and so on. And then you imagine a nectar, or light coming from the Buddha Shakyamuni and going through your crown and cleansing your body, purifying your body, and then you're imagining that this nectar really cleansed the obstacles of understanding the cherishing others. The obstacle of the cherishing other is the self-centered thought or the mind of the self-centered. So through this nectar is purifying this self-cherishing thought and really blessing you with the cherishing other thought. And through that you cleanse yourself and you feel that you have a very good realization of cherishing other thought. So this is one way of doing meditation. And then another way of meditation is like a Gandel Hagem, the 100 deities. And then the second approach you can use it, you just meditate, put a Shakyamuni on your crown. And so the difference is before we were contemplating Buddha Shakyamuni and the lineage holders in front of us. But the second approach is you just contemplate Buddha Shakyamuni in the solitary, just a single deity, a single statue above your crown, and you're saying the prayer and you're meditating on the importance of cherishing others, the fault of cherishing self and so on, and then the nectar is coming from Buddha Shakyamuni and cleansing your body. So that's another way of doing the practice. And the third way of practicing is you visualize your own teacher. The third one, we use the, as we described, the Gandel Hagyama, the 100 deities meditation approach. Gandel Hagyama was beautiful.
No.
Where you visualize Lama Tsongkhapa and then his two main disciples, Geshe and Dorje, in front of you, and you do the sad prayer and you meditate, and then you visualize the nectars coming to Lama Tsongkhapa. In terms of receiving the nectar and the purification is same, but the different visualization we can rely on. And then another visualization we can do is and then another approach is you can visualize the Chirasic, the Avalokiteshvara, indifferent from your root guru, because the Chirasic is the really essence of compassion. And so your root, you imagine Chirasic as inseparable and indifferent from your root guru, and visualize them in front of you, and then to receive the nectar the same as we did before. And so for the Chirasic inseparable from your root teacher, you can visualize them either in front of you or you can visualize them above your crown, and in the same one, using the same visualization for receiving the nectar. So why I'm suggesting different choices? You do visualize these or either that. That's because we all have a different disposition, a different faith. So as we say, to whom you have the faith, where there is a presence of Buddha. So it depends, like some people have a very strong devotion to your root gurus, others will have strong devotion to certain deities, others in Buddha Shakyamuni. So whoever you really feel most close and most devoted, to whom you feel the most devotion, and if you visualize that in front of you, and then you're kind of receiving the blessing will be much more powerful. As we say that to whom we have the most devotion also are the Buddha himself. And so this is why we can use different approach. So you can choose, or you can really do according to your own kind of a feel or feeling. And the other thing is why do we need to receive blessing, the nectar? This is because when you engage in the practice of Dharma, there are so many obstacles come on your path. And so receiving the blessings from holy beings is really to help you to purify the obstacle. So in the obstacle, the direct obstacle, and also like obstacles for realization, which is like a doubt, not being able to understand Dharma and so on. So this kind of method that I described is very effective, really purifying these obstacles.
라마 가래 공나에 라무 공배발하고 딱 딜레지 인증이 차단을 방지는 공부하시고 있습니다.
어디시라 직접 시부디 쇼쇼스로 비자블
딱 공부하시나 데레스나도 따도 저거 샬레초도 지마스 선에지와 뭐다 데치지리 딱 전달이 공부하시겠다는 딱 디지 뱀잔데 찍받치냐래 재미치나.
So in the Tibetan text, in the fourth line, whereas in English it's the first line, may I always, and then cherish all beings, then it is actually a prayer line, and by the time when you say may I cherish, may I, and so on, at this stage, and then you imagine the nectars coming to your body.
다시 сек제 당고디 신제버지 연대때 말 신제버 진이 연대인데 신제버지 연대인데 가리리 그랬으나 안 타도 저에서는 고가도 연대인데 소소로 도그레 센터 сек제 당고디 신제버지 연대 띵게 있어요.
So in the first verse, it's really telling us the advantage or the qualities of cherishing other beings. So this is what the first verse is talking about.
신체벌 짐발라드는 자주게 생기는 신체벌 짐발라드는 지고래 짐바탕과에 다가래 수림송화에 다가래 서버공부 차단다 진소파지도 차단 시야가 때문에 경력 소소의 냠렌체 시야가 맞잖아 냠렌체서 내와인다 다 신체벌 짐고에 갈래 삼로 땅과에 나다 되나다는 두도 와서요.
So if we think about the advantage or the qualities of cherishing others, they are really profound. And for example, if we think about bodhicitta, and we are only able to realize bodhicitta through thinking about others' benefit, thinking about others' interests. And if you look at the six perfection practices, they are all about really taking care of sentient beings. And so we are dependent on other sentient beings to realize these perfections. And that's where it's so straightforward. Why the other sentient beings are so important, so precious, because our qualities, the Dharma qualities, are dependent on them being there.
대인상 전주 있음께라 샬라드네 깨고와 인상 진바탕과 드네 인상 아니 이게 맞다. 나가도 맞아 이게 맞아 보여나 같은 땅을 리진 네발에도는 나무 부다이네 지고도 땅을 리진 쓰는데 따지다가 보고지게 아니 아마디다 배수고 교시오자 잡서버리다 나바테는다 저바시게도 전에서만 나바테네 마음에 아니 아마딜라다 소소 감도 보라 미소게 네바메바 인상 아니 참주 단다 이게 참에서 몇 조가 땡기 공기다 소소를 리고라 지 신기파 제일 맞을 타지도 아니 담모델라니 칼레칼레 집중 소소 위치는 지만 담모델로 유디네 도와 생각
그들이 연대에서 뭐를 배차상 수.
담미샹들 제버진 진 진고의 좀 전대더라. 그런다 신선의 신 사정도 증거죠.
And so the why we really take the cherishing other interests really important, because we're dependent on other sentient beings, including if we wanted to really practice and realize the practice of the profession of generosity, the sentient beings have to be there for help us to realize our practices. So it's just one example. And for that purpose, in the biography, the life story of Buddha Shakyamuni, and in one of his previous life, he engaged in the practice of generosity, including offering his own flesh and body to tigress. The story goes a long time ago in Nepal. Namo Buddha, this is the name of the place where Buddha Shakyamuni, one of his reincarnations of the previous.
Tradition calls it Dagmo vision. Dagmo means is female
tiger,
female tiger. Yeah, vision means he gave body.
The name of the area in Tibetan, the translation is offering one's body to a female tiger or to a tigress. The story goes that one time Buddha Shakyamuni was traveling in that area, and there was this mother tiger with quite a few offspring, and they were going through really significant starvation. And she was becoming really weak, and the offsprings are really dependent on her milk and so on. And if she dies, they're all going to die together, and there's nothing else to eat. And then Buddha Shakyamuni felt so compassion toward this, and then he offered his own kind of body to this tigress, so that she can nourish herself and save the lives of all the offspring. So this was used as an example of the generosity practice.
지난해 따라다나 생각이 미통과 소개에 테레나 몰라딘데 랑서로 소개에 누구면 봐인자 아니 산지 중에들은 소고라가 차트 아니 칼레갈에 집주나니 소고라 따또기니 칼레갈에 서 소고셔만 한다.
And then, because at the time the tigress was so weak, having the lack of food for so many days, and the tiger was even not in a position to attack Buddha or really. So the Buddha Shakyamuni really kind of offered himself. So I said, I'm not going to be so descriptive about the event because Buddha basically offered himself. The tiger was not in a position to attack because so weak from the food and so on. So this was well kind of described. The scene was really well described in the biography of Buddha Shakyamuni.
근데 나 티셔츠 어디 tun다리 땅이 겨우도 되시게 말하는 사회적인 라이언에 단다지마도 지금 내 강점을 결함도 쉬워라니 결함도 티셔츠 담도 공부듯이 아니 신체적 정도의 중심도 성료지 땅 내가 올 때는 진짜와는 파별의 진짜와도 공부듯이 다 이때 뭐는 사정을 레셔스에다 성료지 또 코르바이 배는 오다 레셔스에는 소소는 야바 딱 가로 퇴중기 야바 쉬워다 투주인 여바데 땡 예비 땡네 안에 소소겠다니 라마 수에 답된데라니다 맞아 림바 시도 직기시죠 어디네 되시게 돈 공부 시에 때문에 맞아 가만히 되는지 공부 시에다 소소 상관을 가는 일이지 다시 오고 왔습니다.
So I'm basically going through this for practice purpose. And so, as we meditate on the first verse, the benefit of cherishing others and the fault of cherishing self, and as you really contemplate on this, and then you would gain some kind of understanding. And as you get the understanding, and then you visualize your Buddha Shakyamuni or Lama Tsongkhapa or your root guru is inseparable from or in form of generosity, whoever you have the most devotion, and then receiving the blessing through the form of light or nectar, and then just see how you feel about it, see whether this is an effective practice for you. So maybe 2 minutes we just do the first one. We basically visualize whoever we have the most devotion, and then we started meditating or the reasoning, the fault of the cherishing the self, the wonderful qualities and the advantage of cherishing others, and thinking all these reasons, and then receiving the blessings from the Lama, and then see how you feel. Yes, so we'll have a break. 8 minutes break.
Special today. I've downloaded the text from His Holiness's Dalai Lama's page.
Oh, okay.
So if you want it for next week,
Sure.
I'm not here. If you go to his site, he's got verse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individually and commentary.
Okay. Sure. I have this.
And if that works, that's good too. That's Karen for sure.
버전 겨울은 지금 웹사이트에 나와서 또 예수 내가 지금 버전 근데 따로 고양이 지난 나가
You know, His Holiness is, yeah. And then if you click in each one, it gives you the English words and then the translation, the explanation. But if you want to use the English words to explain it, it's good for us to hear what you're talking about each time. Yeah. So for my notes, I'm not here next week, so I can't offer. Yeah, I've now copy pasted. So he taught us the first one, and then this is everything you've talked about so far.
Okay.
And then we can start verse 2, and I'll put what you teach. Yeah, and I'll share it with you, but I'm only doing one class because next week I'm not here. Yeah. But His Holiness's site has a good English translation. This is excellent as well. Thank you. Where have you been? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, I'm so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you're going out of town soon.
I'm so
Yeah.
I'm a little scared. Because
Yeah?
I've got too many things to do. And only
Do you need help?
days. I do, but I think Stephen needs more help than me.
Okay, I'll check in.
I've got
Is that
3
my lunch?
jewels.
Okay, I don't have lunch this weekend, so.
Because, are you here this weekend?
This weekend I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, are you coming to Brooklyn on Friday?
I'm not sure. I could. I kind of
Yeah, I have to.
feel overwhelmed. I have a
Yeah.
paper due on Monday, but I mean
You do?
I can do some stuff.
We're just partying, you don't have to.
Yeah, right.
Everything's pretty organized with it.
Perfect. Yeah, it's the one with the DJ at Little Skips, right? Yeah. Okay.
But then after that, Steve will want help to run the non-profit here, the fundraiser here.
Okay, perfect. That's on Saturday? Oh, this one. That's not this weekend, that's
No.
this weekend, right? Okay, perfect. I'll check with him. Yeah? All right.
I forgot to do that.
I personally
Very good. Do you want water or tea?